Before the Alliance to Restore the Republic became an official rebellion, it was comprised of a number of scattered rebel cells throughout the galaxy. Not all of these rebel cells were a part of some grander organization. For example, one such rebel cell was the Spectres, who rebelled against the Empire in their own way. Occasionally, though, they would receive orders from a mysterious agent that went by the name Fulcrum. The codename Fulcrum was used to hide their true identity, as is the purpose of codenames. A Fulcrum agent was someone who communicated secretly with all of these unconnected rebel cells. They didn't use their real name, and they didn't tell the rebel cells any more than they needed to know about any of their orders. They would contact a rebel cell, inform them of an Imperial target, give them a plan of attack, and then the cell would do the rest. A Fulcrum agent generally acted on behalf of one of the leading anti-Imperial senators. So, people like Mon Mothma and Bail Organa. In fact, Ahsoka Tano was recruited to be the first Fulcrum agent by Senator Bail Organa, as seen in the book titled Ahsoka. So, to basically run through the process, a Fulcrum agent worked directly under a leading member of the higher echelon of the growing rebellion, then identified rebel cells and recruited them into a more official cause, without telling them too much for fear of reprisal or leakage of information, and then would every so often contact those cells with information about a mission or a potential Imperial target. I mentioned Ahsoka Tano as a Fulcrum agent, but Cassian Andor was at one point a Fulcrum agent as well, who operated specifically in the Albario sector of space. So, with all of this information, I feel like this describes the character Luthen Rael from the Andor show. My theory is that he is also a Fulcrum agent. He works closely with Mon Mothma, and he interacts with other rebel cells and helps them attack Imperial targets. We saw that the rebel cell Luthen worked with in episodes 4 through 6 didn't even know he existed except for one of them, which is exactly how Ahsoka Tano operated with the Spectres in the Rebels TV show. Only one member of that rebel cell knew about Fulcrum, though others did have their suspicions. This is exactly the kind of situation we saw with the rebel cell on Aldhani. I think, though, that if Luthen is in fact a Fulcrum agent, that he is beginning to want to take matters into his own hands, and he is starting to sound a little too extremist. I'm wondering if he was the Fulcrum agent that first contacted Saw Gerrera and the Partisans, and that he is maybe coming around to their way of thinking. What do you think, though? Could Luthen Rael be a Fulcrum agent?